Tarin stood at the edge of the human base, staring at the strange sky of Rada 7. Two moons hung above, glowing soft blue and silver. The land was quiet, no wind, no animal sounds, only the soft hum of the machines behind him. He had been on this planet for 2 weeks, part of a small science team sent from Earth. Their job was to study the glowing crystals found deep in the caves. These crystals held strong energy, more than anything found back home. Tarin was the youngest in the group, just 23, but smart with machines. He fixed drones, repaired scanners, and helped the others with data. Still, something about Rada 7 felt strange to him. It was too silent, too perfect. The local alien race, the Valari, had been peaceful but distant, tall and graceful. They never spoke to the humans. They only watched from far away, then vanished into the trees. One evening, after dinner, Tarin left the base to check on a broken sensor. He carried a light and a small toolkit. The forest around him glowed with soft blue plants. Trees rose tall like glass pillars, and their leaves shimmered. He worked fast, keeping an eye on the dark space between the trees. As he tightened the last bolt, he heard soft footsteps. He turned quickly, holding up his light. A figure stood just beyond the trees. She was tall, with silver skin and eyes that glowed gold. Her long hair flowed like water, and she wore a dress made of light threads. Tarin stepped back, unsure. She walked forward slowly, then knelt before him. Tarin froze. The alien woman looked up at him and whispered, "I can give you more than they ever will." Tarin could not speak for a moment. He stared at her, unsure if he was dreaming. "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Nira," she said, standing now. "I am Valari, but not like the others. I can speak your language. I've watched you." "Why?" Tarin asked. "Because I see truth in you," she said, "and danger around you." Tarin lowered his light. "What kind of danger? You are not alone here. Something old sleeps below. The others have felt it, but feared to speak of it. Your people dig into the earth. The more you take, the more you wake it." Tarin looked confused. "The crystals, we are only studying them. We don't want to harm anything." Nira stepped closer. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were serious. "The crystals are part of something deeper, a machine. Long forgotten, it feeds on energy, on thought, on fear." Tarin had heard stories from other planets, stories of machines with minds of their own, but he had never seen anything like that. "Why are you telling me this?" he asked. "Because your leaders will not listen. They will think I lie. But you ask questions. You wonder. I see it in you." Tarin stayed silent. He did not know what to believe, but Nira did not seem like a threat. Her voice was soft, not cold. Her eyes held pain, not power. "I want to help my people," he said, "and my team. But I don't understand all of this yet." "You will," Nira said. She reached into a small pouch at her side and pulled out a glowing crystal. It pulsed with soft red light. "This is not power. It is a key," she said. "Keep it. When the time comes, you will know what to do." Tarin took the crystal. It was warm. In his hand, "I can't let the others see this," he said. "They'll think I stole it, then hide it." Nira said, "But listen to me. The ground is not sleeping. It is waiting, and it has begun to stir." She turned to leave. "Wait," Tarin said. "Will I see you again?" Nira looked back. "Yes, but not in safety, only in danger." With that, she vanished into the forest. Tarin walked back to the base slowly, hiding the crystal in his pocket. His mind was full of questions. Who was Nira, really? Was she telling the truth? Was something dangerous hidden beneath Rada 7? When he reached the base, the lights flickered once, then returned to normal. Kyo, the team's security officer, looked up from his console. "You were gone long," Kyo said. "Had to fix a stubborn sensor," Tarin replied, trying to sound normal. "Well, keep your eyes open." The scanners picked up some strange heat signals near the caves, Kyo said. Tarin nodded and walked to his room. He closed the door, took out the crystal, and placed it on the table. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. He stared at it for a long time, thinking about Nira's words Outside, the forest stood still. Inside, the crystal pulsed dot, and deep beneath the planet's surface, something ancient turned in its sleep. Taran sat alone in his small room, staring at the red crystal on the table. It still glowed gently, like it was alive. He had hidden it inside a spare toolbox the night before. But sleep had not come. His thoughts kept going back to Nira, her voice, her eyes, the way she spoke with warning, not hate. The next morning, the base was busy. The team was preparing to enter the deeper part of the caves. Dr. Reen, the lead scientist, believed there was a new layer of crystal down below. She was excited. Taran, however, was worried. While others packed scanners and suits, Taran looked for Keo. He found him checking the weapons locker. Any update on those heat signals near the caves? Taran asked. Keo shook his head. Still there, moving slowly, like something breathing. Reen says it's just natural heat from deep rocks. I'm not so sure. Taran nodded. Maybe we should wait. Could be dangerous. Keo looked at him. If Reen says go, we go. That's the rule. Taran didn't push. But his mind was on Nira's words. The ground is not sleeping. It is waiting. After lunch, Taran stepped outside the base. He walked to the edge of the forest, pretending to fix a small weather scanner. But he was hoping she would appear again. The forest was quiet, full of glowing plants and tall trees. Taran waited. Minutes passed. Then he heard its soft footsteps behind him. He turned. Nira stood there, her silver skin shining in the soft light. Her eyes still held that deep golden glow. You came back, Taran said. You waited, she replied. They stood facing each other. You said the crystal was a key, Taran said. A key to what? Nira stepped closer. A door. A machine. A prison. Many names, long ago. Before even the Valari, a powerful force was placed below this ground. Not by my kind. By something older. It cannot die. So it was locked. Taran listened carefully. My people were once slaves to its voice. It spoke in dreams, and light, and hunger. We broke free many years ago. But not all forgot. Some still listen, some still serve. Taran felt a chill. Why haven't you warned my leaders? He asked. They would not hear me. They see us as quiet, peaceful, silent watchers. But we watch because we must. If that thing wakes, no world is safe. Taran looked toward the base. My team wants to go deeper, into the caves. Nira's face grew serious. Then the time is close. You must stop them. I can't, Taran said. They won't listen to me. I'm just the repair guy. Then be more, Nira said. Truth does not need high rank. It needs a brave voice. Taran looked down. What do you want? From me? He asked. Nira stepped even closer. Help me, walk with me. I can show you things your people do not see. There are paths hidden from scanners. Places even your drones cannot reach. Taran felt a pull inside him. He wanted to understand. He wanted to help. But he also feared what he might find. I'll come, he said. But only for a little while. Nira gave a small nod. Then she turned and walked into the trees. Taran followed. They moved deeper into the forest, where the light grew dim and the trees bent inward. Strange flowers opened as they passed, glowing softly. Taran saw insects with glass wings, flying between leaves like tiny stars. After half an hour, they reached a wide clearing. At the center was a tall stone covered in strange marks. The ground around it had no plants, only smooth dark soil. This is where it spoke first, Nira said. This stone once sang with power, but now it is quiet. Taran touched the stone. It was cold. What do the marks mean? He asked. Nira traced her hand along one line, a warning, a seal, a name not meant to be spoken. Taran stepped back. Is this thing still alive? It does not live like you or me, but it waits. It reaches through crystal, through light. It feeds on fear, anger, pain. Taran remembered Keo's report about strange symbols found on dead plants near the cave. He now believed it was no accident. You said some still serve it. Taran said, Are any near us? Nira looked into the trees. Yes, one of them is close. I do not know who, but they have touched the crystal wrong. The energy is changing. Tarin felt uneasy. What do I do? You protect the key, Nira said. Keep it close. When the time is right, it will show you the way. Tarin looked around. The forest felt heavier now. Will I see this place again? He asked. Yes. Nira said, it is part of your path now, Tarin. And Nira walked back toward the base. On the way, they saw no birds, no animals. The forest was still. Before they reached the edge, Nira stopped. You must return alone, she said. I cannot walk into your world. Not yet, Tarin nodded. Will you? Be watching. Always, Nira said. She stepped back into the shadows and was gone. Tarin entered the base just as the team was preparing to enter the cave. Dr. Reen looked at him. Where were you? She asked, checking old sensors. Saw some spikes. Might be something. Under the trees. Reen nodded. Fine. We'll go in an hour. You're on drone duty. Tarin nodded and walked to the tech room. He opened his toolbox, checked the red crystal, then closed the lid again. This was no longer just a sign strip. Something ancient was moving below them. And Nira was right. Truth needed a voice. The cave entrance stood like a mouth, wide and dark, hidden between sharp rocks. Morning light touched the edge of the valley, but the inside of the cave stayed cold. The team of 6 humans stood ready outside, each wearing a light suit and helmet. Drones floated above them, cameras blinking. Tarin held the control pad, his eyes on the drone feed. Keo stood beside him with a scanner. Dr. Reen stepped forward and spoke through the radio. We move in slow. Stay close. Mark crystal patterns. No one touches anything without a scan. They entered the cave. Lights from their suits shining on the walls. Crystals lined the stone, glowing softly in blue and white. Some of them pulsed faintly. Tarin watched the drone view. The path ahead bent left, then dropped into a wider tunnel. The deeper they walked, the warmer it became. The scanner beeped. Heat rising, Keo said. Could be natural, or not, Tarin whispered. Keo looked at him. You okay? Tarin nodded. Just, something feels wrong. They moved ahead. Crystals became thicker. Some had strange black veins inside them. Reen ordered samples to be marked. Team members stayed behind to scan and collect data. Tarin followed Reen and Keo into a deeper chamber. The walls here looked burned. Black marks stretched across the crystal, like something had scratched or melted it. In the center stood a tall spike of red stone. Unlike the others, this one did not glow. This is new, Reen said. She raised her scanner. Strange readings. No energy. But it's warm. Tarin looked at it. The red stone looked like the crystal Nira gave him, only bigger. His fingers touched the toolbox at his side. The smaller crystal inside was still safe. The ground suddenly shook. Not strong. Just a light tremble. Everyone froze. Keo raised his scanner. Movement. Behind us. Pull back, Reen said. They moved quickly toward the tunnel. Tarin sent the drone ahead. The video feed showed nothing. The path was clear. But when they turned the corner, one of the 2 team members was missing. Only a broken scanner lay on the ground. Where's Luma? Reen shouted. The last team member stood shaking. I don't know. She was right behind me. Then I looked, and she was gone. Keo aimed his light in every direction. Tarin moved the drone higher. Still nothing. Suddenly, a sharp sound came from the wall. A crack opened in the crystal. Something long and thin moved. Inside, like a shadow. We're leaving, Reen said. Now, the team moved out fast. Keo stayed close to the rear, his hand on his sidearm. Tarin followed, watching the drone view the whole time. Outside, the sun was bright. The fresh air hit their faces as they removed helmets. Reen turned to Keo. Seal the entrance. Keo dropped a small beacon that released a soft gas. The cave entrance filled with smoke, then cooled into hard foam. It would hold for now. Tarin sat on a rock, breathing hard. One person gone. No sound. No warning. He looked at the sky. Somewhere in the forest, Nira was watching. Later that day, the base grew tense. Reen called a meeting. The team sat in the main room, the air heavy with worry. Reen spoke first. We lost Luma. No sign. No body. Something is inside that cave. It is not just rock. Kyo added, we all saw the marks, the heat, the movement. We report this to Command. Taran spoke. If Command hears, they might send more people, more digging. What if that makes it worse? Reen looked at him. We're scientists. We don't run from the unknown. We study it. But for now, we stay out of the cave. The meeting ended. Taran went to his room. He took out the red crystal. It pulsed stronger than before. He stared at it, then left the room. He walked outside, past the equipment sheds, into the trees. The sky above was starting to turn orange. Night would come soon. Nira, he said softly. He waited. Then he saw her, standing near a tree, silent as always. You were right, Taran said. One of us is gone. We found a red crystal spike, the same as this one. He showed her the small crystal. Nira stepped closer. The ground is open. Its voice is rising. But you are not too late, Taran asked. What took her? The machine beneath, Nira said. It is not alive, but it moves through light, through thought. It takes the weak first. Those with doubt or fear. Taran felt cold. Then we are all at risk, Nira nodded. Unless you close the path, the red crystals are not doors. They are bridges. When touched wrong, they allow passage. I didn't touch it, Taran said. But someone did. Nira replied. Taran looked at her. You said someone serves it. One of us, yes, she said. And they will act again. Taran's heart beat faster. He thought of the team. Reen, Kyo, the others, any one of them could be the one. How do I find out who it is? He asked. You wait, Nira said. And you watch. The one who serves the machine will try to protect it. You will see it in their eyes. Taran looked back toward the base. I'll be ready, he said. Nira reached into her pouch and gave him something new. A small silver stone, cool to the touch. This will help you see truth. Use it only when you must. Taran held it tight. Will you help me stop it? I will, Nira said. But only humans can end what humans begin. She turned and disappeared into the trees. Taran walked back to the base. The night was quiet. The air was still. But inside the walls of the base, something was watching, and one among them no longer stood with the others. The silent attack had begun. Taran woke early. The red crystal pulsed on his desk. It was glowing brighter than before. He picked it up. It was warm. Not hot, but not cold like before. He placed it back in the box and got dressed quickly. The base was quiet. Only Kyo stood near the main gate, checking the outside camera feed. Morning, Kyo said without turning. Taran nodded. Any movement? Kyo pointed at the screen. Nothing since last night. But I feel like something is close. Taran looked at the trees beyond the gate. He could not see Nira, but he believed she was there, watching, waiting. Dr. Reen entered the room with two other team members. She looked tired. We're going to study yesterday's samples. You two, she pointed at Taran and Kyo, check the forest line again. I want no more surprises. Taran nodded. Kyo grabbed his scanner. The two stepped outside and began walking along the edge of the forest. After a while, Kyo spoke. You've been acting strange, Taran. Taran looked at him. Strange how? You sneak out. You walk alone at night. You talk less. You see something in that cave? Taran stayed quiet. Kyo stopped walking. Tell me the truth. I trust you. But if something's out there, we need to be ready. Taran looked around to make sure no one else was near. Then he pulled the small red crystal from his pocket and showed it to Kyo. Kyo's eyes narrowed. Where did you get that from? Someone, Taran said. She's not like the others. She's trying to help. A Valari? Kyo asked. Stepping back a little, Taran nodded. Her name is Nira. She speaks English. She knows about what's under this planet. There's a machine deep below. The crystals are connected to it. Kyo took a deep breath. Why didn't you tell Reen? She wouldn't believe me, Taran said. You barely do. Kyo looked at the crystal again. Then he looked toward the forest. I believe something is going on, and I believe Luma didn't just vanish. But I don't know if trusting an alien is the answer. Then come with me, Taran said. Nira showed me a tunnel, a hidden one, not part of the map caves, We can check it ourselves. Kyo thought for a moment. Then he nodded. Tonight, when the others are asleep, that night after dinner. The base grew quiet. Reen and the others stayed in the lab, working with the samples. Tarin and Kyo slipped outside, carrying only lights, scanners, and a small drone. Nira was waiting near the edge of the trees. I knew you would return, she said. Kyo stepped back, surprised at her appearance. Her silver skin shone softly. Her eyes held a steady golden glow. Tarin nodded. We're ready. She turned and led them through the forest. The path was narrow and quiet. No wind, no sound. Only the soft rustle of leaves under their boots. They reached a small hill covered with glowing moss. Nira touched a stone at its base. A soft sound filled the air. Then the ground opened, revealing a round hole leading down into darkness. This tunnel was built by the ones who first sealed the machine, Nira said. Few know it still exists. Tarin and Kyo followed her down. The path was steep but smooth. The walls were made of old stone, mixed with crystal. The deeper they went, the warmer it became. After walking for nearly 20 minutes, they reached a wide chamber. It was round, with large pillars covered in glowing lines. In the center stood a tall machine. It had no clear shape, part metal, part stone, part crystal. It pulsed with slow, deep light. Kyo stepped back. Is that it? Nira nodded. That is its body. Its mind is deeper, buried in light and thought. Tarin walked closer, staring at the strange design. It looked old, but not broken. It looked asleep. This machine once ruled thousands of minds, Nira said. Not with chains, with whispers. It speaks through crystal. It feeds on fear and anger. Then why hasn't it woken fully? Kyo asked. Because the seal still holds, Nira said. But it is weak. Someone is helping it from the surface. Someone is using the crystal the wrong way. Tarin looked at the red crystal in his hand. This one. Nira shook her head. Yours is a key. The others are bridges. Someone on your team is touching them, feeding the machine. Kyo clenched his jaw. It could be any of us. It is not you, Nira said, or Tarin. I would feel it, but the one who serves it hides well. Tarin turned to the machine. How do we stop it? There is a way, Nira said. At the heart of the machine is a core. If it is removed and touched by a living will strong, clear, human, it will shut down forever. Why human? Kyo asked. Because the machine was made to follow new leaders, Nira said. It waits for a new mind to guide it, the ones who sealed it believed humans would be strong enough. Tarin stepped back. And if we fail, then it will rise, and every world will hear its voice. They stood in silence. The machine pulsed again, slower this time, like it was listening. Kyo turned to Tarin. We need to find out who's helping it. Before it's too late, Nira nodded. I will wait. Here, you must return now. Watch the eyes of your people. One of them will show the truth. Tarin looked at the strange machine one last time. He felt its weight inside his chest. Then he and Kyo climbed back up the tunnel and into the night, back. At the base, lights flickered once. Someone inside had already made their move. Tarin and Kyo returned to the base just before sunrise. The air was heavy, and a strange silence covered the camp. Even the machine sounded quieter than usual. The two walked in carefully, trying not to wake the others. But they were not alone. Dr. Reen stood in the control room, staring at the monitor. Her face looked pale. You were both gone, she said without turning. Where did you go? Kyo answered quickly. Just a routine scan near the southern trees. Reen slowly turned toward them. Her eyes looked darker than usual, like she hadn't slept. Tarin noticed her hand was shaking. We lost another team member last night, she said. Rel, gone without a sound. Tarin's heart dropped. When? Round midnight, Reen said. He went out to check the signal post. Never came back. We found his helmet near the cave. Kyo asked, were there any signs, movement, sounds? Nothing, Reen replied. The cameras were black for 5 minutes, then came back on. No damage, no warning. Tarin exchanged a quick glance with Kyo. They both thought the same thing. The machine had reached out again. Reen stepped closer. Tell me the truth. Do you know something about this? Kyo stayed calm. We saw strange heat patterns. We thought maybe something underground was causing it. We didn't want to raise panic without proof. Reen stared at them for a moment longer. Then she walked away without saying another word. Later that morning, the camp was almost silent. For remaining humans worked in separate rooms. Fear sat between them like smoke. Taran sat in the tech room, holding the red crystal. Its light was steady, but his thoughts were not. Kyo walked in and closed the door behind him. We need to talk, he said. I've been watching everyone. Something's off with Reen. Her hands shake. Her eyes don't focus. She speaks slow, like she's somewhere else. I saw it too, Taran said. What if she's the one? Maybe, Kyo said. But we need proof. Taran pulled out the silver stone Nira gave him. She said this shows the truth. I've never used it. Maybe now's the time. Do it when you're alone. With Reen, Kyo said, we can't make a mistake. That afternoon, Reen called Taran to help her in the storage bay. The others were busy in the lab. Taran slipped the silver stone into his hand as he entered. Reen stood near a wall panel, checking energy levels. These readings are strange, she said. The crystals we collected keep pulsing. Like something is calling to them? Taran stepped closer. Do you feel anything? Reen didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, yes, like something is whispering. In my head, telling me not to be afraid, telling me to open more. Taran quickly raised the silver stone. Its surface turned bright blue. A flash of light passed between him and Reen. For a moment, everything stopped. Then he saw it. Behind Reen's eyes, a shadow moved, like smoke and water. Her voice was her own, but her thoughts were not. Something else was inside her, controlling. Whispering, she looked at the stone in his hand. Her voice changed. It grew deeper. You should not have done that, she said. Taran stepped back. You're helping it. It promised peace, she said. No more war. No more fear. Only order. Perfect. Order. It's lying to you, Taran said. It feeds on fear. On minds. It doesn't bring peace. It brings silence. Reen moved closer. You can join us. You can feel it too. The crystal knows you. It called you from the start. Taran raised the red crystal in one hand and the silver one in the other. I already chose my side. The red crystal glowed bright. Reen stepped back, eyes wide. A loud crack shook the base. Lights blinked off. Then on again. From outside came shouting. Kyo's voice. Taran ran out, leaving Reen behind. Smoke rose from the main generator. Sparks flew. Panels burst open. One of the remaining team members, Rana, stood frozen in shock. Kyo pulled Taran aside. The crystals inside the lab all lit up at once. Some broke. I think the machine is trying to reach out fully now. Taran spoke quickly. Reen is under its control. It's speaking through her. Kyo didn't ask questions. Then we stop it now. Taran opened the toolbox and pulled out the red crystal and the silver stone. We go to the machine. We shut it down before it fully rises. Kyo grabbed gear. What about Reen? She won't stop. US now, Taran said. They ran into the trees, heading back to the hidden tunnel. Smoke still rose from the camp. The machines were breaking down one by one. The air itself felt heavier, like the planet was breathing faster. Nira met them at the hill entrance. Her face showed worry. It is almost awake, she said. Its voice is louder. The seal is cracking. Taran nodded. We're ready. Take us to the core. Together, the three entered the tunnel. This time they moved faster. The wall shook gently. Lights flickered. Even the old stones hummed with energy. They reached the chamber. The strange machine in the center now pulsed faster, like a heartbeat. Red light spread from the center, touching the pillars. Nira pointed. The core is there, but it is protected. Only the crystal can open the way. Taran stepped forward, holding the red crystal. He felt it grow warmer. The light from the machine wrapped around him. His vision blurred, but he kept walking. Then the center opened. A round sphere floated in the air. It glowed white, pure and silent. Taran reached out as his fingers touched the core. The machine spoke. You are not ready. You are weak. You will break. Tarin closed his eyes and remembered Earth, his people, the team members who were lost. The fear he felt, the voice could not take that from him. He held on tighter. The machine screamed without sound. Light burst out in every direction. Nira raised her hands to shield her face. Kyo stood firm beside her. Then all went quiet. The light faded. The machine stopped pulsing. Tarin stood in the middle, holding the core. It was cold now, still. He looked at Nira. It's done. She stepped forward and smiled gently. You were stronger than it believed. Outside, the camp slowly returned to normal. The smoke cleared, the crystals dimmed, and Reen, free from the shadow, collapsed and began to breathe on her own again. Tarin had done it. The machine below was silent, for now. Tarin stood still in the chamber. The glowing white core rested in his hands. It no longer pulsed. The strange machine around him had turned dark. The red lights had faded. The pillars stopped humming. The threat that had lived beneath the planet for ages had finally been silenced. Kyo came closer, still holding his scanner. It's dead, Kyo said. No heat, no sound, no movement. Tarin looked at the core again. It's not dead, just quiet. It's waiting. Nira stepped forward, her golden eyes focused on the white core. You touched it with truth, she said. That is rare. Most minds break when they face its voice. Tarin took a deep breath. It tried to pull me in. It showed me power. But I remember my people. I remember the pain it caused. That gave me strength. Nira nodded. You are not like the ones before. Suddenly, the ground shook. A low rumble echoed through the tunnel. Kyo turned quickly. What was that? Nira stepped back, listening. The seal is weak in other places. One part is silent, but others may still rise. Tarin's heart sank. So it's not over? No. She said. This core was the center, but small roots spread across the planet. One of them has started to grow again. Kyo looked worried. Can we stop it? Yes, Nira said. But it needs one more step. The core you carry must be placed in the Heart Grove. Tarin looked at her. What is the Heart Grove? A place deep within this planet, she answered, older than the machine. It holds the life of Rada 7. If the core is placed there, it will break every signal the machine left behind. All bridges will close. Forever. Kyo looked at the dark machine around them. How far is it? Far. Nira said, and dangerous. The machine's last servants will try to stop us. Tarin tightened his grip on the core. Then we go. Now, they climbed out of the tunnel quickly. The sky above was cloudy. The air smelled like smoke. But the base looked calm. Tarin saw Reen resting in the medical room. Her breathing was slow but steady. The dark look in her eyes was gone. She's free now, Kyo said. She was strong, Tarin replied. She fought it in the end. Before leaving, Tarin left a short message on the base computer. We are heading to the Heart Grove to complete the shutdown. If we do not return, the path will still be safe. He also left the Silver Truth Stone beside Reen's bed, hoping she would one day understand everything that happened. Then, with Nira leading the way, Tarin and Kyo walked into the forest. The path was narrow and rough. Strange plants moved as they passed. The trees whispered. The light changed with every step. It felt like the planet was watching them. This land is alive, Tarin said softly. Nira nodded. It remembers. Long ago, it fought against the machine. But it cannot fight alone. They walked for hours. The air grew warmer. In the distance, sharp hills rose like broken teeth. At their base was a wide field filled with soft green light. That is the Heart Grove, Nira said. But the way was not clear. At the edge of the field stood tall, dark figures. Their skin looked like stone. Their eyes glowed red. They did not speak. They simply waited. Servants of the old voice, Nira whispered. They have no soul. Only command. Kyo raised his scanner. Too many for a fight. Tarin looked at the core. What if I walk in alone? They will stop you, Nira said, unless they see something stronger. Tarin remembered the red crystal Nira had given him on the first night. He pulled it from his pocket. It still glowed faintly. This was the key, he said. What if I hold both? Nira nodded. It might work, but the danger is high. If the two crystals join, they will call every signal left in the land. If you fall, the machine may wake again. I won't fall, Tarin said. Not with you beside me. Nira looked at him, then placed her hand on his shoulder. You are more than what you were, Tarin. You carry hope now. Kyo added, we'll hold the edge. You go. Tarin stepped forward. He held the red crystal in one hand and the white core in the other. The dark figures began to move. Their red eyes followed him. But they did not attack. Tarin kept walking. The field was warm. Light came from the ground. In the center stood a small stone ring filled with glowing water. Tarin walked into the ring. He knelt, placed the white core into the water, and then placed the red crystal beside it. The ground trembled. The sky turned gold. Light rose from the pool, reaching the clouds. A soft sound filled the air, like music from a far world. The dark figures outside the field stopped moving. Their red eyes turned dark. One by one, they fell to the ground, like stone losing power. The field calmed. The air turned clear. The heart grove had accepted the core. Tarin stood, his hands now empty. The water inside the ring glowed white. It's done, he whispered. Nira and Kyo ran toward him. Kyo smiled. They stopped, all of them. Nira's eyes shine with peace. The machine's last hold is gone. You ended it. Tarin looked at the trees. The strange wind was now soft. The planet felt quiet, but not empty. It felt clean. As they walked back, birds flew overhead for the first time. The glowing plants opened wider. Even the sky seemed brighter. The machine had been broken. Not by weapons, not by power. But by the will of one human who chose hope over control. The journey back to the base was quiet. The air felt new. The land was healing. The strange sounds of the forest were now soft and peaceful. The trees no longer whispered warnings. Flowers bloomed where there had once been dark vines. Tarin walked with slow steps. His body was tired, but his heart was calm. Beside him, Kyo smiled for the first time in days. Nira walked just ahead of them, her golden eyes scanning the sky. It is over now, Kyo said. You really did it. We did it, Tarin replied. All of us, even Reen. She fought back in the end. They reached the base before nightfall. The gate opened as they approached. Inside, the lights were normal. The machines hummed softly. The danger was truly gone. Reen sat on a chair near the window. She stood up slowly when she saw them. Her eyes were clear. No trace of the red glow remained. I remember everything, she said. And I'm sorry. You were strong, Tarin replied. You came back. Nira walked toward her and held out her hand. Reen looked unsure at first, then took it. There is nothing to fear now, Nira said. The team sat together in the meeting room. Kyo played back the scans from the Heart Grove. Every signal from the old machine was silent. There was no movement, no sound, no energy from the deep chambers. The planet is free, Kyo said. Completely. Tarin looked out the window. The stars were bright that night. He felt a strange pull in his chest. Something was calling him, but it was not a warning. It felt gentle. He looked at Nira. What happens now? He asked. She was silent for a moment. Then she stood and walked to the table. She opened a small pouch and placed a smooth black stone on the surface. This is the last link to my people, she said. Long ago, we lived here in peace. Then the machine came. It gave power, but it asked for loyalty. We refused, so it turned against us. What happened to your people? Reen asked. They left, Nira said. Some hid deep inside the stars. Others stayed and fell. I was the last one born here. I was kept hidden by the forest. I waited a long time for help. Tarin looked at the black stone. What does it do? It holds the memory of my world, she answered. If placed in the Heart Grove, it will awaken the true voice of the planet. It will bring life back to the land, and it will let my people return. Kyo leaned forward. Is it safe? It is not a machine, Nira said. It is life. Pure and silent. Tarin stood. Then we should take it there. You don't have to, she said. You already gave this world peace. I want to, Tarin said. You waited a long time. This planet waited too. Reen smiled. We'll go with you. That night, they rested. The stars shone above the base like tiny lanterns. The wind was calm. No fear remained. At dawn, the team returned to the Heart Grove. The path felt easier this time. The land accepted their steps. Birds flew ahead of them. The trees opened space for them to walk. At the center of the grove, the ring of glowing water was still bright. The white core rested there, quiet and still. Nira stepped into the ring and knelt. She placed the black stone beside the core. The moment it touched the water, a soft green light rose. The ground trembled, but not in fear. The air felt full. A deep hum filled the grove. Flowers opened all around them. Trees grew taller. The field turned gold with light. Nira closed her eyes. Her face was peaceful. It remembers, she said, and it forgives. Taring watched in silence. A warm wind touched his face. He felt a calm he had never known. The planet was speaking, not with words, but with feeling. A small light floated from the stone. It rose high into the air, then spread out like soft rain. The land soaked it in. Far beyond the grove, forests turned green again. The sky cleared. Rivers began to flow. Kyo watched his scanner in awe. The energy is pure life. It's healing the planet. Reen stepped forward. We need to share this. People must know what happened here. Taring nodded. But we must protect it too. It can't be taken or used. Nira looked at them. I will stay. I will guard this place. When my people return, we will rebuild. With peace, Taring felt something shift inside. He looked at her. You were right, he said. You gave me more than they ever could. She smiled. You gave me more as well. You gave me hope. They stood together, facing the glowing field. Hours passed. The sun set again. The grove stayed bright. Kyo prepared the ship to return to orbit. Reem packed the research logs. She would take the story of Rada 7 to the stars. Taring walked alone to the edge of the field. Nira came beside him. Will you stay? He looked at the sky, then at the trees, then at her. I want to, he said. If there's a place for me here, there is, she said, right here. Kyo and Reen watched from the ship. They waved as it lifted. Taring stood with Nira in the grove, watching the sky. The war was over. The machine was gone. Life had returned, and a man who once felt small had helped change a world.